just arrived in Culiacan and have got a phone call from a local crime reporter here that there's been a shooting in the centre of the city. There's a guy who was driving his car, he was shot in traffic. We think it's gang related. We're heading there now. The policeman said that was basically a hit job gone wrong. A couple of guys came to kill him, shot him in the leg, shot him in the arm, hit him over the head, and then before they could kill him, they got spooked by the amount of cars that had been stopped.
2020 is set to become Mexico's deadliest year on record. Despite hopes that the COVID-19 crisis would slow down violent crime, it's had the opposite effect. More than 17,000 people were murdered in the first half of this year alone. In Culiacan, a city of about 800,000 and the headquarters of the notorious Sinaloa cartel, no one is off limits. For Ernesto Martinez, it's the brutality of the killings that stand out.
So what happened?
Se encontró a un agente de la policía municipal ejecutado. Prácticamente le cortaron la cabeza.
Jesus Manuel was a 42-year-old local police officer. A few days before he turned up dead, he'd been kidnapped by cartel members.
Aquí hay tejido ya todavía.
That's his brain?
Hey.
Oh man, really? Why would they have done this? Like, what was he involved with them in some way?
Desde mi punto de vista personal, es mucho odio, ¿no?, para esta persona. Las autoridades han declarado que son los riesgos que corre un elemento de una corporación. Hasta ahorita ninguna autoridad ha dado una declaración de alguna pista o algún...
This is hard to believe, you know what I mean, that they've shot a police officer 65 times. Do you think anybody will be punished for this?
Absolutamente no.
In the middle of our interview, Martinez was tipped off about another murder.
Ahí vamos para allá.
A couple of days later, family held a funeral for murdered officer Jesus Manuel. Armed officers were a major presence. Cartels have a habit of shooting up the funerals of officers they've killed. The mood was tense.
We tried to talk to people from the family. They're all too scared. The police are too scared. The police don't want to talk to me because they don't even trust each other.
446 officers were killed last year in Mexico, and this year that number could top 500. So far in the case of Jesus Manuel, there'd been no official statements, no arrests, and seemingly no attempt for justice. The cartel who allegedly killed the officer were the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful in Mexico.
We're about 2.5 hours outside of Culiacan, and this place is so far beyond government control. I haven't seen police cars for about an hour. All you see is guys like this on quad bikes with guns.
Toda esta área es de nosotros, el ganado, la agricultura, también sembramos motas, solfia.
This is so far away from any city. Do the police ever come by here?
Así han llegado a venir, pero solo pasan por caminos y uno ya mismo, pues muchas veces le da dinero uno, otra vez piden solo comida, otra vez quieren mujeres y eso.
How much do you have to pay an officer or the military to keep them off your back?
Para estos lados es por temporada. O por ejemplo, póngale unos 50,000 pesos 15 días, 100 al mes. Que si ellos vienen en buen plan, pues nosotros en buen plan, nosotros cooperamos con ellos. Y si ellos vienen en modo agresivo contra nosotros, pues nosotros nomás repelemos la agresión.
A couple of days ago in Culiacan, a police officer was kidnapped. To me, they seem like acts of terrorism, you know, if you're kidnapping police and killing them.
Pues usted no sabe qué puede hacer el policía. Muchas veces es un policía corrupto que hacen cosas indebidas. O simplemente pues no quieren jalar con el cártel, como dije luego.
Many here feel the Sinaloa cartel are the real authority in the region. They're believed to control the majority of Mexico's drug trade. The Department of Homeland Security estimates $19 to $29 billion a year is made from sales in the US alone. Guys like this in the mountains are a small but vital part of the trade. They grow and transport marijuana and opioids into the US.
Pásenme aquí, la tenemos para que la moto ocupa un lugar fresco y seco para que conserve su aroma.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. How much is this worth?
Esto viene siendo aquí unos 30 kilos. Anda como 600 pesos, algunos 18,000 pesos cuando mucho.
Has coronavirus made it any more difficult to smuggle it into the States?
Pues desde que está el coronavirus está todo parado. No hay frontera, no hay cruce, no hay compra y pues aquí está haciendo y prieto. Hasta que alguien se la lleve o la tiren.
So how much money do you think you're losing right now?
Estaremos hablando de millones.
Do you think that might be a reason for some of this violence? The fact that, cartels aren't really making the money they usually do?
Pues sí, como por ejemplo los carteles que tienen que mantener su gente y todo, tienen que sacar dinero donde hay. Si ya se acabaron sus reservas, pues tienen que buscarle.
How old are you guys?
Yo tengo 27.
13. 13 that is young, isn't it, to get involved in this game?
Pues está pequeño, pero entre más pequeño más aprende y le gusta.
I mean, do you want to be one of those people? Have to kill people?
No parece.
Ya vio lo que quiere ver el muchacho.
At a time when COVID-19 restrictions have closed down many of the usual routes into the US, demand has grown for guns for hire to help fight for territory that remains.
Do you think at some point another cartel is going to come and try and take this from you?
Que nosotros no nos llevamos con ellos porque hay mucha gente que nosotros no nos llevamos con ellos.
Who really controls Mexico? Is it the authorities or is it the cartels?
Pues el gobierno. El cartel llega hasta donde el gobierno quiere. El gobierno es el verdadero jefe.
What's in it for them?
La mayoría de las ganancias van a dar a ellos, a los altos mandos del gobierno.
The current government says they're focused on stamping out this corruption. But Mexico consistently ranks towards the bottom of global corruption indexes and ranked 130th out of 180 countries in 2019. We flew to Mexico City to meet with Olga Sanchez, the Secretary of the Interior.
Being an extremely powerful member of government, have you ever been approached by a cartel? Have they asked you to try and do things for them? Have they threatened you? Have they tried to get you on their side?
Nunca. Las grandes corrupciones son o empiezan en las esferas de poder y se van filtrando hasta los policías municipales.
How is it that so many murders can go unsolved and so many people can get away with it?
En virtud de deficiencias en la investigación y deficiencias en la policía al detenerlos y deficiencias al consignarlos. A veces los fiscales están amenazados. A veces los jueces están amenazados. Esa es una realidad.
I acknowledge that you inherited a very difficult situation. I don't deny that. The question is, when will your policies see results?
Lo que pasa es que aquí tienes tú que combatirlos a diferentes niveles. El nivel más importante no es el fuego ni tampoco un armamento pesado. ¿Sabes qué es? La congelación de cuentas, aseguramiento de cuentas y la estructura financiera. Pero sobre todo, social. Quitarles la base social a la delincuencia y a los cárteles. Hoy les vamos a dar a los jóvenes oportunidades y van a ganar casi lo mismo, que cuando los coopta la delincuencia.
Despite the government's promises, many in the cartel don't believe there's a real reason to ever leave the trade. It's not just about money, it's a way of life.
A ver, hazlo. Pero con paciencia, que no te muevas.
Yeah, how does it feel to shoot?
Bien, me gusta.
So he wants to be a vet. What do you think's more likely? He's going to be a vet or he's going to end up in the cartel killing people?
Pues yo la verdad lo que veo que va a terminar siendo mañoso. Le veo más futuro de mañoso que de veterinario.
Why do you think that?
Porque mire cómo anda de contento con las armas aquí. Y es lo que le gusta donde anda.
No, porque está mal. Yo quiero ser veterinario.
You know, did you want another life before you entered the cartel world?
Yo soy piloto. Y estudié, pero agarraron al patrón. Y aquí ando mejor, mira.
Local advocacy groups predict only 5% of murders are solved in Mexico, meaning most homicides go completely unpunished and ignored. This impunity is felt hard by Mexican families, and many are left never knowing the whereabouts of loved ones and with no hope of closure.
¿Dónde quedaron mis balas? Vámonos.
Mirna Quinones leads the Trackers of El Fuerte in Los Mochis, a group of mothers who are looking for answers on their missing children.
¿Te acuerdas cuando vimos el cuerpo de Leobardo aquí en la...?
Hicimos este grupo tras la desaparición de Roberto Corrales, mi hijo. Fui con las autoridades para que me ayudaran a buscarlo y pues recibí un rotundo no. Y pues decidí por cuenta propia empezar a buscar.
The organisation has over 1,500 missing persons in the database. Over the last 6 years, they found 204 bodies, doing a job they feel the authorities should be doing.
¿Ves que no
No huele,
ninguna
no huele a podrido como dicho.
no huele a podrido, Karen? ¿Huele? Estamos descartando esta superficie, hay que ver que está sumida. Entonces metemos la varilla y si la varilla sale con aroma o sale con algo y al meterla y si hay un cuerpo ahí adentro, sale el aroma aquí o sale pedacitos, restos de algo aquí.
The group has such little faith in the Mexican justice system, they aren't even looking for accountability. They gave up on that long ago. Instead, they're just hoping for closure.
The best these women can hope for right now is that they'll be reunited with the remains of their loved ones. You know, at the moment in Mexico, justice just isn't possible.
We don't have justice in Mexico, in any place, any country. There's no justice for us.
Is it ultimately dangerous though? Because if you ask too many questions and you really try and find out what happened, you could be next. You could get killed yourself.
Maybe they will kill me if I ask too much. So just look for them and that's all.